Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name is Jimmy.
I'm Tim.
And today we're doing a Kickstarter preview of a game that's coming out soon called Super Packs. Brandon Patton from Merlin Pool sent us this game to do a preview of. So as with all Kickstarter previews, the components will probably change. As you can tell, some of these are just simple, but as the campaign goes, you can see exactly what's going to be included in your Kickstarter. So
yeah, these are just prototype components. Except for the cards, they might change slightly, but these are probably going to be the end result here.
Okay, so Tim, tell us how hard or easy is it to learn Super Packs?
So this game, I mean, yeah, there's a lot out here right now, but it's super easy to learn. It's super quick to get on the table, get the people around the table to get involved and start playing the game.
Great.
Once they play one single turn, they're gonna have the game down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you felt, right? When you first.
I mean, this card does a great job of telling me everything I need to know. I just read it, and it tells me my actions, the order that I do them, and then it tells me all the symbols on the other side and what those do. Turn order work. I don't know. Maybe it's all on there. So,
well, I mean, you've got your initial setup for all that stuff there that the rules go over. These aren't the finalized rules. He said that a lot of the stuff in here is going to change, but it does a great job of explaining, because you do need to know what every symbol on the card and different areas of the card mean. But his instruction booklet is well put together.
Good. So how do you play Super Packs? Here's a basic overview. I'm not going to hit every rule, but gives you an idea so you can decide if you want to back this game or not. So at the beginning of the game, you are going to get a couple leaders in your hand, and then you're going to choose which leader that you want to take. And these are very well-drawn artwork of very current leaders or people that you might see in the political arena. So like right here, I've got a guy that looks strangely like Donald Trump. There was a...
I'm sure any resemblance to the actual people is pure coincidence.
And of course, this guy that happens to look like Donald Trump is all about the money and has crazy hair blowing in the wind. So anyway, so you get a leader, and then this leader has a special ability that they call your campaign ability. So this plays into the theme of the game, where like this guy's ability has to do with who his personality, he or she's, their personality. And so you get a special ability at the top, and then you have a superpower at the bottom. And so this is something that you can use that is unique to that person, and then there is a cost associated with that superpower. So you don't just get to use that, you have to have the money available to use that superpower, which is kind of unique. So you have your leader, and then what do you do on a turn? So you can do a couple things to start out. You can campaign, which means I get to use my special ability, which this guy, Donald Trumpish, the hairpiece is the name of the character. It says that I get to draw a faction, and I get 1 megabuck. And so on my turn, I could say, hey, I want to do that. Or if I didn't want to do that, then the alternative is I can embezzle money. And so I would just take 2 megabucks for free and put them into my hand. And so megabucks have the same back as all the other cards, so you keep these in your hand so you don't really know how much money the other person has or how many factions that they have. Then the second thing that you get to do is a main action. And so you can either use one of these faction cards, and the faction cards is where all the kind of the flavor of the game comes through, because these faction cards have all different types of factions in the game, and they have benefits associated with them. So what you could do is say, I'm going to play a faction, and then on the bottom of that card, it has an ability that you could use. So this one in particular says that I can destroy a gold faction from each opponent. So I'd say, haha, you have to get rid of that. And then he has to get rid of that gold faction, or whatever the ability is on the card. So that's one way. And I place this down in my coalition. And so then there's some other things that have to do with the coalition on the card. So the first thing that you see is a number of votes. So that's going to play into some elections that we're going to encounter as we play the game. The second thing is megabucks. And so if I ever want to fundraise, which is an option that I can as one of my main actions, I can look onto my board and say, okay, I'm terrible at fundraising. I only get 1 megabuck. So I don't know why I would do that. But there are some cards that have lots of money written on them. And so as you play those down, when you take the fundraising action, you would look at that number on your board and say, okay, I get 7 fundraising megabucks, and you can do that. The last thing that you can do is you can sneak cards. And so when you sneak a card, you place it face down. You don't get to use the ability written on the bottom, but at the end of the round, you're going to turn that card over, and now it's worth either the votes, the money, and the power that's listed on the card. So how do those matter, right? So you're going to be collecting votes because as you play through rounds or turns, rounds of the game, you're going to be flipping over cards. And so these crisis cards come up and they're going to do something different for that round. So like this one says, players cannot fundraise next round. That's a bummer. And so you do that and then you play this next one. This one says each player with a certain symbol discards a faction. And then you're going to come up on somewhere in here, right?
Yeah, the last one on each one of these stacks.
The last one in each one of these different stacks is a vote. And so you're going to have an election. And so this is the House of Representatives election. And so then you go through on your cards and it's just as simple as counting up the number of votes that you have or any investments that you have. And whoever has the most votes gets this card, which this card now has. The only thing that this benefits you on this card is power. And so you're going to place that down onto your board. This card cannot be destroyed or taken away. And then at the very end of the game, the reason this matters is whoever has the most power at the end of the game wins the game. So you're going for votes early on, but you're trying to collect power to win the overall game. And so you're going to go through each one of these rounds, and each one of these elections gets more and more important. So House of Representatives is 5 power, Senate is I think 10, and then the presidential election is 15. And so if you win each one of those, you could just get all the power and win the game. So there's a few other things that play into the game, like you have investments. So this is almost like a deck builder where you have to have money in your hand to buy these cards. And so these come out when somebody gets a new one. And so these cards have different abilities that you can use. So like this one's campaign advertising. And so you get 2 power for this, but you get to move the promoted token onto your leader. And so there's all these different ones like smeared, which takes away 4 votes in elections. Investment says that each investment you buy costs 1 less megabuck. There's scandals. There's being blessed. So you get the religious vote. You're retired and you can't vote in elections at all or use your super power. There's all kinds of these different little things that you play a card and you can put it on your opponent, and then they can't get rid of that until they play another card. So you're just taking rounds, putting things out onto the field, sneaking them out there, exploiting things, just doing like that to gain votes and ultimately power.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the game, Tim?
2 big things on this that I really like. First is the flavor on the cards. Everything is spot on. The artwork looks like the cartoons, the political cartoons you see in the newspapers. So they're just perfect for what they're doing. And each one of them has a name up there. You got the teapot crackpots, whatever up here, and you have the political cartoon. And of course, it's all themed. You know what their ability is based on that faction that's in there. So it all works really well. The events that happen every turn, at the end of every turn, are actually newspaper articles, and that's pretty cool. So theme-wise, it sticks in there. It sticks it pretty good. So the other thing is the strategy that's involved in this game with the whole initial. You can either play the cards for the immediate benefit, or you can play it for the benefit at the end of the game, kind of thing. So, like early on, you just go for straight votes, so that hopefully you'll build up power or something like that, or you'll try to build up your money so that you can buy more investments. Because investments are basically going to give you 2 things. They'll give you maybe an initial, like immediate benefit, like drawing 2 cards, or moving that promoted token. But other than that, the big thing is they give you power
at the end, yeah.
And they're usually themed. Like they'll give you 2 power per red card that you have, or something like that. So then you'll be playing from that point on to get those red cards in there, so you'll get more power. So to me, that's a lot of strategy built into this game.
And it can really hurt or help you because, like here on this campaign advertising, I get 4 votes for every election, and that just stays with me. You know, so that's 4 free votes. Or the smeared one that says you lose 4 votes in every. So if you are placing that on somebody, they'll really hate you. So there's a lot of that. Definitely, I love the whole, do I sneak it or do I exploit it? You know, do I try to just get this through, which maybe that's kind of how it works, you know, just push this through the election to try to make this work? Or do I play it right now for its immediate benefit? That's a huge aspect of the game, which adds a lot of flavor to it.
Yeah, that sneaking to where you can really build, your coalition really fast really helps. But then again, you're not getting any of the benefits from exploiting your cards.
Right. We've been sent a lot of Kickstarters to review and check out and stuff, and some of them are kind of reaching maybe for gameplay. You know, there's like they had an idea and then let's make a game, but like this one I feel like is a game. I feel like you're actually playing for all these different things, and there's 3 different rounds, and I mean all this stuff. So to me, I feel like as you're playing this, I don't feel like I'm just trying to find a game in it. I think there really is a game in here that you'll enjoy.
Yep.
Replayability with the leader cards, right? You know, so each time
there's a huge stack of leaders, and you only play with one per game, and he really does dictate how you're going to start off playing because of his superpower and stuff like that. So
so you'll find out people that I'm sure you might not like as much as you like other people, and you're hoping you draw those people to play with. So yeah, it makes me want to play the game more and more. So. Okay, so that's our review of Super Packs. Check it out on Kickstarter and see if this is something that you'd like to back. Thanks for watching.